for me, I've really had to acknowledge the huge swings I go through. So this feeling of profound love, so where there's so much meaning and beauty and I feel so much love, and then where I feel hate because I feel like I'm going to be crushed or overwhelmed, or as if there's this never-ending list of demands and that I might actually be crushed just by the sensory experience of motherhood. And that massive range is definitely trauma related, because that experience of having a narrow window of tolerance and then having a going in and out of hyper arousal and hypoarousal means that we will have these kind of bigger swings because we ourselves are not well regulated. So as I have got more regulation on board, and as I have started to colour in more of the mid-range of my nervous system experience, I feel I have less extremes of feeling. And sometimes I still have big extremes of feelings. And I want to kind of really name how we kind of judge ourselves around this. So if I have, and this still happens when I have days where I'm like, oh my word, I don't think I can cope with this, or I feel like hate, or I feel really overwhelmed by all the requests and constant questions, because my girls are they're quite like me, to be honest, and I ask a lot of questions, and I'm like can be quite intense, and they both like to ask a lot of questions. They like to understand a lot of things, and they also fight with each other quite a lot. So if the one is dominating a lot of my attention, the other one wants to dominate my attention just because she's incompetent with her sister. So that adds another sort of layer of just intensity, basically. And sometimes, like today, let me give you examples. And then within the first minute I had got in the shower, coming over to me, when are you getting out? How much longer are you going to be? And then the next thing started, which was that the one wanted to go and sit somewhere else away from her sister, but her sister felt anxious and wanted to keep that other one, the other twin, in the change room with her, because she didn't want her to go away because she felt stressed and anxious. But the one who wanted to get away and go and sit somewhere else in the change room didn't like to be in the small space. So then they keep on bringing me this fight. And then when I did get out the shower, the one twin was giving the other twin basically the Heimlich maneuver, squeezing her, because she felt so frustrated that her sister had tried to keep on keeping her in the small space, basically. And I was just like, oh my word, get out of my face. Let me just get dressed. Stop crowding me. And my own sensory, if you listen to the episode from last week, my own sensory kind of challenges came up where I just wanted to have some quiet and not have everyone on top of me and around me and pestering me with lots and lots of questions. And I also started to get hot because it felt like we were the hottest change room ever, which we probably weren't, but they were also fighting. And so I had to kind of remind them both that this was an FFT, and actually one of them reminded me it was an FFT, but just to say, okay, let me just get changed. You go and sit over there, you go and blow dry your hair, and you just can stay with me if you're feeling stressed. The one who felt stressed about not wanting to her sister go away from her then sat with me. But even as she was sitting with me, she was buzzing around me instead of just sitting in the corner and just letting me get dressed. And so I could feel my own interoception, sending me these stress signals of, you're too close to me, you're asking me too many questions, I need to just have the chance to dry myself, put some cream on my legs, put my clothes on, put some deodorant on. Just let me do that. I don't even have to brush my hair. I walked out of there with my hair all over the place. But I started to get really, and they were then starting to fight again, and because I had got cross with the one for basically giving that. Well, she didn't do the Heimlich maneuver, but she basically did it on her stomach. So she was she really hurt her. Did it from behind. And so I was just okay, just give me a few minutes so I can get dressed and then we will get out of here. But in that sort of intensity, up comes for me some sort of sensory rage where I'm can you just keep your hands off each other for 2 seconds and let me get dressed? And like hate comes up for me. I started to get really like, oh my word, I am never coming again swimming with you, or you are never going to be in the change room with me. You know, like all this very dramatic thought.